Hello and welcome back to Evolve Beyond Limits Academy. We are here for activation 5. So today we're going to talk all about energy. And it's the energy that's running through you daily, the energy that surrounds you all the time. It is the energy in which you are living your life that can tell us so much about how fulfilled and how in alignment we are with the life that we are currently living versus the life that we might desire to live. So when you think about energy, the word energy, what do you think of? What comes up for you? The truth is that the energy that we hold is our number one asset. And we don't really pay that much attention to it. We know when we have it and we know when we don't, but we often don't know why we have it or why we don't. And these are hugely important questions on this journey of personal growth, is understanding your energy, because your body never lies. And the energy that you are putting out matters in every single thing you do. So my first question for you is, on average, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much natural energy do you have to do all the things that you want to do in a day? Natural energy. So not after 3 cups of coffee, not after any of that. How much natural energy do you have to do everything that you want to do in a day? 0 being that you never have enough energy. It's a constant struggle to even just get out of bed in the morning. 10 meaning that you are feeling like you are bouncing off the walls with energy and excitement, and people probably want to punch you in the face because of it. What's the number that comes up? And you don't have to rationalize this number. You don't have to logically think through it. Allow whatever number came through to come through. This number can tell us a lot about the life that we're living. So if your number fell between 0 and 5, it can attribute to the fact that we're kind of suffering in our life. We're very out of alignment in the life we desire to be living, in the life that our soul is asking us to live. If we're always struggling with our energy. And this is not something to judge. This is something to simply understand. It's a baseline. If you fell between the 6 and the 8 range, you're surviving. You're moving through life. You're surviving. You're doing all right. You're not suffering. You're kind of just like going through the motions in your life, and you feel pretty good about it. Some things feel good, some things don't. And if you are sitting, and one of the few people who are sitting in the 9 to 10 range almost every single day, then you are thriving in your life. Thriving. And your energy can tell you that. You're not broken, okay, if you're a little on the low side. And you might even notice that some days are different than other days. And that's a big reason why we're going to dive into this. Because it's so instrumentally important on your growth journey to understand what gives you energy and what drains your energy. It is one of the easiest ways to determine if how you are spending your time and who you are spending your time with and the environment that you are spending your time in is in alignment with your highest self or not. So when you can start to narrow down the things, the people, the commitments, the environments that you need to let like spend less time in, then you can start to rearrange your life by understanding the people, the things, the environment, the commitments that you should be spending more of your time doing. And from all of this work that I have done with so many different people, most people actually spend most of their time doing things that suck their energy. And then they have nothing left to spend doing the things that they actually want to do. And when you think about that, that's obviously going to leave you feeling less than optimal and really far away from thriving in your life. So I want you to think about, and you can pause this as we go. Take a sheet of paper and split it down the middle. And I want you to think about all the things that you do in a day that drain your energy. Either you dread even thinking about doing them, while you're doing them, you're exhausted and you can't stand it, or afterwards you feel really depleted. And think about all of that. What are the environments? What are the people? What are the circumstances? What does that look like for you? So go ahead and pause and write that down. What are all the things that drain your energy in a day? That just feel draining to you, and be honest. And when you get done with that list, I want you to go to the other side and I want you to think about what gives you energy. What are the things that you do in the day, or people that you spend time with, or environments that you're in that you can't wait to do them? You can't wait to be with them. And when you leave, you feel more lit on fire than you did when you showed up. Make that list. Go ahead and pause it and make that list. And now I want you to think, how much time, one, take a look, which list is bigger? Is there a significant difference? And I also want you to take a look at and put a percentage, 100% of your day. How much percent of your day do you spend doing the things that drain you versus the things that light you up or give you energy? How much time are you spending in each one? Give it a percentage. And take a look at that. What does that look like for you? For a lot of people, they spend about 80%, I'd say 60 to 80% of their time doing things that drain them every single day. And they spend anywhere from 20 to 40% on things that light them up. The goal is, how do you shift those percentages? Because realistically, to be thriving in our life, we want to be spending about 80% of our time doing the things that light us on fire. There's always going to be things in our life that we're doing. And I'm not going to say always, because maybe that's a story, right? Maybe I hope that there's one day that there's not a single thing that I do in my day that I am not excited about doing. But at least let's try to get to 80%. If we could spend 80% of our time doing the things that we love to do, that other 20% would be pretty easy as well. So then I want you to go back to take responsibility for this. How do you start to make these shifts? It's not about trying, it's about choosing. Choose to spend more time doing the things that give you energy. And a lot of times that means that you're going to have to say no to people, to places, to situations, to commitments that you don't want to do, that you're doing because you feel like you should, or you feel like you're supposed to, or you feel pressured into doing. I can tell you right now that if that is the way in which you are spending your life, and that is how you're making decisions on how you spend your time, you will be miserable. Make a commitment to yourself. I'm not going to live my life with shoulds and supposed to and pressure. I'm going to do things because I desire to do them, because I want to do them, not because I'm going to try to please somebody else. We spend so much of our time in people pleasing behavior because we're so afraid of disappointing others that in the midst of that, we disappoint ourselves constantly. And then we struggle to understand why we feel the way we do about our life. You're going to have to start to say no. Because when I work with people on human design, and one of the huge things that I work with people on is understanding your energy. Because whether you are a generator, a manifesting generator, projector, manifestor, or a reflector, your energy is going to help you understand, and how you use your energy is going to help you navigate your life in a way that feels really, really good, and how you make decisions as to what you're choosing to do and not choosing to do. These are all things that I work with people on in human design when I do work with them on human design. It's about understanding all of these things so that you can better prepare yourself. And what a lot of people end up doing is they really struggle. It's not that they're saying yes to too many things that light them up. Most people are saying yes to things that they don't actually want to do. And it's the willpower and the commitment to say no, even when it's uncomfortable, because you know that what is best for you ends up being best for everyone else, even if they're upset in the moment. You can't control how somebody else is going to feel, but what you need to do is honor yourself, because burnout is real and our world is living in a state of burnout. Everything feels hard, even things that they think they love to do, they can't do. All because they're so burnt out and they refuse to honor what their body and their soul actually needs. And when you start to say no, one of the coolest things about this, I promise, is that there are going to be people who are not happy with you because they're going to take it personal, and it's not personal. And I've had to have this conversation with people in my past that me choosing not to do something with you actually has nothing to do with you and everything to do with me. And it's because I love myself so much that I'm making that decision. And when you start to do that, you'll start to notice the people around you start to shift. They actually start to set their own boundaries. They start to say no. You're given permission slip. So what are you not doing? Because you're living in this constant state of, I'm supposed to do this, I should be doing that. You're judging yourself constantly for what you are and aren't doing. You're looking at others, comparing yourself to them. At what cost? At the cost of your fulfillment? One of the questions that I ask so many women, and I'm going to ask you right now too, what do you do for fun? What brings you joy? Do you know? A lot of women have a really hard time answering that question because at some point, you stopped living your life for you and you started living your life for everybody else. And a lot of times this even starts to happen around the ages between the age of 8 and 10. We start to step away from who we are and we start to turn into the person we think we need to be. Somewhere along the way, we lose sight of the inner child. We lose sight of our innocence, of our playfulness, of our imagination, of being able to dream and create. We shut down our curiosity, our creativity. I don't even know where this came from. No clue. Somewhere along the lines, I began to believe that I was not creative because I wasn't the greatest drawer, couldn't really paint things. However, up until about 6th grade, I used to write fictional stories all the time. Where did that story come from? I don't know. Where did our creativity go? And I always love to go back to thinking about, I think toddlers are so fun and because they just don't give a shit. They know what they want and they're going to do everything in their power to get it. And they haven't been taught to care about what other people think of them yet. And they have no reason to think they can't because everyone is cheering them on. You have to channel your inner toddler sometimes. And what's so interesting about all of this is that as children, we're essentially little slaves. We don't really make a whole lot of decisions for ourselves. We get told when to eat, what to eat, how to dress, what to do, where to go. And yet they're so happy most of the time. And then we get to be an adult and you can make any decision that you want to. And yet then we're miserable because we find people or things to blame our unhappiness on. And we seek out situations that help us solidify this story that getting older is hard because of all of the responsibilities. And as we went through school, fun and play, that stuff comes last. You can't play until you finish your homework. When you've spent the whole day at school, right? But what if we put the play first? What if we put the things that light us up first? Everything else would be easier. I promise you. You can fight me on that all you want, and I will hold steadfast in this. When did we stop looking at life as fun? This is an experience that we are here to have that is meant to be, yes, full of growth and full of evolution and full of fun. The whole gamut of emotion we get to live. We get to. We don't have to, we get to. And this can be such a fun experience, but we look at life like it's some sort of job. Yeah, there's important things for us to do here, but no one said those things don't have to be fun. That we can't have our passion and temper that with playfulness. What would happen if we did that? How much different would your life feel? Why can't it work that way? So how can you start to rekindle the curiosity and the wonder that keeps life exciting? How can you start to add more play into your life? How can you start if you don't know what the word fun is? And I get it because I've been here. Make a list. Everything that's just sounds fun to you. And then start to go down it. Try one thing at a time. See how you feel. What did you used to do when you were a kid? Can you do that again? Can you do a version of that again? You see, 100-year-old person can be just as joyful as a 5-year-old. It has nothing to do with their age. It's about how you're choosing to live your life. So I want you to remove the shoulds, the supposed tos, the have tos, the pressure. Nothing good is going to come from it. It will leave you depleted. So as you go through this activation, I want you to notice how often that those 4 things, shoulds, supposed to, have tos, and pressure, are driving your decisions on how you spend your day and how you spend your time. And I want you to notice from day to day what your energy looks like and how did you spend that day? Were you excited to jump out of bed or were you dragging? What's the difference? Start to notice this. You know, people always say that you can't pour from an empty cup. I agree with that, but I want to take it a step further. You can't pour from a full cup either. What I want you to do is I want you to be living a life that you're thriving so much that the only thing that you give to people is what is overflowing out of your cup. You don't need to take from your cup and give to others to prove something. When you are living a life that is in alignment with who you are and what your divine blueprint is, and all of those things, the energy spills over. Everything spills over. You start to attract a essence of overflow in your life. And it is that overflow that you get to give to everyone and everything else. And when you start to feel like your cup is going down, you need to pause. Don't give more. Hold on. What do you need? Honor what you need so that you can get back to that place. So I will give you some journal prompts to work on this. And what did today bring up for you? What are some simple shifts that you can make? Where you can start to live more in alignment with more energy so that you get the best of you. And when you get the best of you, everyone else gets the best of you as well. There is no need to be a martyr. There is no award for that except for burnout and exhaustion and unfulfillment. And probably resentment and bitterness and anger and frustration. I could go on and on. Okay. Look at it. Be honest with yourself. And then what are some shifts that you can make and commit to making them? And go ahead and I can't wait. I hope that I can hear about some of these shifts that you're making and how it makes your life feel different. And I will see you on the next activation.